Good morning, everybody. It's me, LisaT, coming at you with some positive energy. Reading The Language of Letting Go by Beattie. So I'm back on track. Feels good. July 14th. We are lovable. When I started this journey last year, I remember coming to a moment and I was like, oh my God, I found like everything I was ever seeking outside. Like I'd found this, the greatest love of all, the inside love. And it's really important that we love ourselves. It's just so important that we love ourselves. So I'm really looking forward to what this has to say today. Okay. We are lovable. Even if the most important person in your world rejects you, you are still real and you are still okay. A friend of mine recently said to me like, oh God, I feel so rejected. And I didn't have the words for her in that moment, because feeling rejected is real, but you're still lovable. You're still whole and complete as you are. You're still beautiful. You're still amazing. You're still, to feel rejected by someone, that's an awful feeling. So we got to overcome that. So even if the most important person in your world rejects you, you are still real and you are still okay. Do you ever find yourself thinking, how could anyone possibly love me? Aww. For many of us, this is a deeply ingrained belief that can become a self-fulfilling prophecy. Thinking we are unlovable can sabotage our relationships with coworkers, with friends, with family members, and other loved ones. This belief can cause us to choose or stay in relationships that are less than we deserve because we don't believe we deserve better. That was definitely part of my past. I stayed in crappy relationships that were not serving me, that were not healthy, that were toxic, because in the past I didn't know that I deserved better. I remember the first time I was able to say like, oh, I deserve better. And it was hard for me to spit it out of my mouth at first. I convinced myself that I would rationalize it by, well, everybody deserves better, but I wasn't acknowledging that I actually couldn't say I deserve better. So we may become desperate and cling as if a particular person was our last chance at love. We may become defensive and push people away. We may withdraw or constantly overreact. While growing up, many of us did not receive the unconditional love we deserved. I have a picture of my mom and me and it says unconditional love because I felt that from her. I remember even though I was 12 when she died, I felt unconditionally loved. And that feeling that gave me this exuberance, that I still carry with me today. So, unconditional love we deserved. Many of us were abandoned or neglected by important people in our life. We may have concluded that the reason that we weren't loved was because we were unlovable. Blaming ourselves is an undesirable reaction, but an appropriate one. Children will do that. Children will find ways to blame themselves for whatever's happening in the family dynamic. So if they feel rejected, if they feel like the parents are having troubles and they wonder, well, if I was, they tell themselves, if I was better, then this wouldn't happen. If I was lovable, then that wouldn't happen, which is obviously a false mistaken belief. So, if others couldn't love us or love us in ways, so blaming others is an understandable reaction, but an appropriate one. Appropriate one. If others couldn't love us or love us in ways that worked, that's not our fault. In recovery, we're learning to separate ourselves from the behaviors of others. Separate yourself from the behaviors of others. Codependency is clinging to the behaviors of someone else, clinging to the ideas of someone else, clinging to someone else's emotions, making that yours instead of being an independent human being. So, and we were learned. If others couldn't love us or love us in the ways that work, that was not our fault. In recovery, we're learning to separate ourselves from the behaviors of others. And we're learning to take responsibility for our healing, regardless of the people around us. Just as we may have believed that we were unlovable, we can become skilled at practicing the belief that we are lovable. This new belief will improve the quality of our relationships. It will improve our most important relationships, our relationships with ourselves. The most committed, most intense, most amazing, and never-ending relationship you'll ever have in your life is the one with yourself. The most important, the one with yourself. So, yeah, just as many as we can become skilled at practicing the belief that we are lovable. This new belief will improve the quality of our relationships. It will improve our most important relationship, our relationship with ourselves. We will be able to let others love us and become open to the love and friendship we deserve. Gotta love yourself, because you deserve it. Here's your prayer for today. Today, God, help me be aware of and release any self-defeating beliefs I have about being unlovable. Help me begin today to tell myself I am lovable. Help me practice this belief until it gets into my core and manifests itself in my relationships. One more time. Today, yes, God, help me be aware of and release any self-defeating beliefs I have about being unlovable. Help me begin today to tell myself I am lovable. Help me practice this belief until it gets into my core and manifests itself in all of my relationships. Amen. Have an amazing day. I love you all. Thanks for watching. Take care.